Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this English lesson about reactions. In life, you sometimes go and see a show. You sometimes have a conversation and you react. You express how you feel after you see that show or after you have that conversation or after someone tells you something. Human beings often react in different ways. We react in good ways. We react in bad ways. We react in ways that show our emotions. So in this English lesson, I will talk about a lot of the different kinds of reactions you can have. Sometimes you react by saying something. Sometimes you react by doing something. Sometimes you react by simply feeling a certain way after someone says something or after you see something happen. So anyways, once again, welcome to this English lesson about reactions. So the first one I'm giving is an action. Sometimes when you see something you like in life, you'll give a thumbs up. Now, a lot of people ask me, why do you say thumbs up and not thumb up? This is only one thumb. This is two thumbs. So you can give two thumbs up. But for some reason, we also say to give a thumbs up. You know, I went and watched John perform at his performance, and he did a great job. I gave him a thumbs up at the end. So you can physically give someone a thumbs up. But as all of you know, you can also give someone a thumbs up on a video. If you look at the bottom of this video, there's a little thumb, and if you click it, you're giving me a thumbs up. A thumbs up always means you like what you've seen, you like what you've heard, you're giving positive feedback to that person. So if you wanted to give me a thumbs up, you could, right at the bottom of this video, you can give me a thumbs up. Sometimes when you see something, you are amazed. The reaction you have is that you feel amazement. This happens to me when I see a magician. So here you have a magician and he has pulled a rabbit. He has made a rabbit appear out of a hat. He has pulled a rabbit out of a hat. If I saw this, I would be amazed. The reaction I would have is I would have a feeling of amazement. So when someone does something that is just hard to understand how it happened, sometimes you feel amazed. Sometimes you feel shocked. Generally, when you feel shocked, it's a negative emotion. It's when you find out that something happened, maybe a bad thing, and you don't know what to think and you don't know what to do. Let's say that your brother was on a trip and he got in a car accident. If he called you and said, "Bro, I got in a car accident." No, he wouldn't say that. He would say, "Hey, I got in a car accident. I'm fine." You might be shocked. You might be shocked to hear that your brother was in a car accident. So generally, shocked is a negative emotion. It's a feeling of surprise, and it's a feeling sometimes of disbelief. Not sure if you can hear that, but I'm a little shocked right now because the storm has started earlier than expected. Taken aback. When you are taken aback, it means that something has happened that you weren't expecting. Maybe you went to a movie and you thought it was a family movie and it was going to be a funny movie and you and your kids were going to enjoy it. But then you find out it's actually an action movie with lots of violence. You might be taken aback. You were expecting a fun family movie, but instead it was a very scary movie with lots of car chases and lots of fighting and lots of violence. You might be taken aback. So you weren't expecting the movie to be about that, but for some reason it is. And pleased. So pleased is just another way of saying happy. When you are pleased, it means that something has happened that you wanted to have happen. Many people in northern countries are pleased if it snows on Christmas Day. So on Christmas Day, if there is a nice little snowfall, like this lady is very pleased because it's snowing on Christmas Day. Well, I'm assuming it's Christmas Day in this picture. But yes, when you are pleased, it means you are content. It means you are happy. It's always nice to be pleased, I think. sometimes you can be pleasantly surprised as well. But a reaction to my reaction to snow on a Christmas day. If I wake up on Christmas Day, my reaction if I saw snow would be to feel pleased or to be pleased. You can say it either way. Now, this is kind of an opposite reaction. When someone is outraged, it means they are very, very angry. Generally, when people react with outrage, when people are outraged, something has happened to make them angry. A lot of times people are outraged at the same time as other people, and you end up with something like this, which is a protest. And I thought it was kind of funny because they just have a sign that says no. So they're outraged, they're annoyed about something. So their reaction to something happening is to feel anger, is to be outraged. So not a nice feeling, but that is how people sometimes react. Sometimes people react by getting offensive. Sometimes you are offended by something someone has done. I've blurred out the word here, but if you were playing this word game and someone used a swear word or a bad word, you might be offended. You might react by being offended. They've done something that has offended you, and so your reaction is to be offended. When you're offended, it means you're annoyed or even a little bit angry at someone for something they did. So maybe someone used a bad word. Maybe someone did something that you don't think is proper, something that you don't think is okay. You might be offended. Another way people are offended is sometimes people will spray graffiti on the walls of buildings, and they'll spray bad words and they'll be offended because somebody did that. Grateful. So when you are grateful, it means you are thankful. It means that someone has done something and it made you happy. Someone did something kind for you. So a good example of this would be this. When I watch a YouTube video that helps me learn to do something, I'm thankful. I am grateful. My reaction to watching the video is to feel grateful. Then usually I give a thumbs up when I am grateful for a video that I have seen. Stunned. So when you are stunned, it means something has happened that you weren't expecting, and you didn't know what to say or what to do. You were almost frozen. You were unable to act. You know, if someone, if someone did something you weren't expecting, let's say, if my mom used a swear word, I would be stunned. I wouldn't know what to say or what to do. So, there's a swear word in English that starts with F. We call it the F word or the F-bomb. If my mom used the F word, I'm not going to spell it, but I think you know what I mean. I would be stunned. I'd be like, what just happened? I wouldn't know what to say and I wouldn't know what to do because my mom never swears. In my whole life, I have never heard my mom use a swear word. So I would be stunned. That's how I would react. If you are livid, it simply means you are really, really angry. So sometimes, like if my boss had said, you have to drive to work today, even though there's a snowstorm, my colleagues would have been livid because it's dangerous right now to drive. So when you are livid, it simply means you're very, very angry. So if you're very angry, you say mean things sometimes. So if my boss said, everyone come to work now, I don't care that it's snowing, we would be livid. I don't know if I would be. If I had a 4-wheel drive vehicle, I would drive today, I think, but I don't. Moved. Now, I think I've talked about this in a previous lesson. Sometimes you react to a piece of art or to something like an orchestra by feeling moved. Your reaction as you sit in the audience and listen to the music is you feel moved. It's deeply emotional. It makes you happy, or it makes you sad, or it makes you experience all different emotions. You are moved. So when you say that you feel moved or you felt moved, it means you experienced a lot of emotions when experiencing something very cultural, like music or art. And then you can also use it as moving, right? It was a moving experience. Grossed out. So when I see something like this, I'm grossed out. Grossed out is an interesting English phrase that means to feel disgusted or sickened a little bit or annoyed. It's all of those things together. When I open the milk up and smell it, if the milk has gone bad, I'm grossed out because it just smells horrible. When I see a pile of garbage and it stinks and it's just not nice, I'm grossed out. So one of the ways you react when you see something like this is you just feel grossed out. You're like, oh, I was grossed out the other day. I was carrying the garbage to the road and the bag ripped open and stuff fell out on my good clothes and it stank. I was grossed out. Fired up. When you are fired up, when you are playing a game or a sport, you want to be fired up when you start. Sometimes players get into a huddle, and in the huddle, they try to get each other excited for the game. They try to get fired up. One of the ways you react when someone scores against you is you might be fired up. You might have new energy and a desire to play really, really well. You get fired up. So that is definitely something that means to be excited, to have lots of energy, and to try and do well. Delighted. So when you are delighted, you are simply really, really happy. So we have a picture here of a man and a woman, and the woman is expecting a baby. So they are probably delighted. So when you're happy, you're right here. Sad is down here. Delighted is even higher. So if you're delighted, you just feel super happy, super excited. We would often use the word delighted to talk about when people are expecting a baby. They're expecting a baby and they're just delighted. They're super happy. They can't wait. Baffled. So baffled is simply another word for confused. If I was at this stoplight, I would be baffled because I wouldn't know if I can go or if I need to stop. So my reaction would be that I would feel baffled. I'd be like, what's happening here? The one light says green straight ahead, green to the right, and the other light says red. So I would be baffled. I would be confused. It's an exact replacement for the word confused. I was writing a test the other day and I was baffled at question 2. I was writing a test the other day and I was confused about question 2. I see in the chat, Eamon saying, I'm delighted to be here. Thanks, Eamon. Fuming. So fuming is the same as livid and the same as angry or very angry. When you are fuming, you are really, really mad. When I picture someone fuming, when their reaction is to be extremely angry, I always picture smoke coming out of their ears when someone is fuming. Probably because of the French word fumer, possibly, but fuming to me would be someone who is extremely angry. Something has happened and their first reaction is to become very, very angry. They are fuming. After I eat a really good meal, my reaction is usually to feel very satisfied. When I eat a meal, I am satisfied. I have a feeling of fullness and I'm very happy and I am very satisfied. So this will be happening to me a couple of times. It will be happening to me in a couple days. It will also be happening next week when I go to my sister's house. I will feel satisfied. It should be a nice day, I think. Drained. So one of the ways people react to a really long day is they feel drained at the end of the day. So this person has their head down. I feel like their reaction to studying all day, it looks like someone who's in school. Their reaction is that they feel drained. They are exhausted. They are fatigued. They are really, really tired. I'm laughing at Harry 300 saying, I am calling Bob. because people could hear the phone ringing. I guess everything's happening during this lesson today that can distract me. My reaction to the phone ringing was to ignore it, by the way. So I ignored the phone. I'm not feeling drained, but I am feeling a little bit, what would I say, distracted during this lesson. So hopefully you can't tell. Elated. So this would be similar to feeling delighted. When you are elated, it just means you are feeling super, super happy. We often use this to describe how someone reacts to good news, like getting a new job. So if you have a friend who's looking for a job, they might call you and say, I got the job. I got my dream job. I'm elated. So it simply means they are super happy. And they often, when people get a job, when they're looking for a job, they look like this guy, just super, super happy, super, super excited. Now we have upset. When someone says something mean to you, or when someone does something mean, you often react by getting upset. That's how we describe it. You can say, I am upset, or you could say, Joe said something mean and now I am upset, or I got upset. But yes, often in life, people say things that are just not very nice, or they do things that aren't nice. And we would describe that reaction as being upset. It's not nice when people are upset. I like it when everyone's happy. So pressured. So this is another feeling. This is something that you can feel and you react when someone tries to get you to do something. Teenagers often react to friends by feeling pressured. When you feel pressured, maybe someone wants you to smoke cigarettes and you don't want to smoke. Maybe someone wants you to do something illegal. Maybe your friends are like, let's go steal some things from the local store. You might feel pressured. A lot of other people want to do something and you don't want to do it, and they keep trying to get you to do it. So your reaction to that might be that you feel pressured. Sometimes when I am on the internet, I feel pressured to buy things from certain YouTubers. They try to convince you to buy things, and then I feel pressured. I try not to make any of you feel pressured. I try to make you feel welcomed. It's a different feeling. Embarrassed. So when you are embarrassed, it means you just feel like everyone's looking at you, or maybe something happened. So one thing that can make you feel embarrassed is this. I walked around one day at school and my zipper on my pants was down a little bit. In English, we would say, your fly is down. And then I realized it about an hour into the day. I hadn't taught any classes yet, but I was embarrassed because my zipper wasn't done up. You might, when you're a kid, be forced to wear clothing that you think looks funny, and you might be embarrassed to go to school. So when I was a kid, my mom bought me some t-shirts that I didn't like. And my reaction was that I didn't want to wear them. I felt embarrassed to wear them. They were actually nice t-shirts now. Don't think it was too big of a deal. Sometimes you react to something by feeling cheated. Okay, when you feel cheated, it means that you were expecting more, or it doesn't necessarily mean someone stole from you. Here's a good example though. I feel like cereal boxes and cracker boxes and cookie boxes are getting smaller, but I'm paying the same amount of money. And when I open the box, there's less in it. So I'm feeling cheated. My reaction when I look in a box of crackers and realize that the box is this big and I paid for this much air and I paid for this many crackers or cookies, I feel cheated. My reaction is I feel like they stole from me. They didn't actually steal from me, but my feeling is that I have been cheated. Not a nice feeling. Affirmed. When you are feeling affirmed, when your reaction is that you feel affirmed, it means that someone has told you you did a good job, or someone has made you feel good about yourself. At work, if the boss says, "Good job, Bob," I feel affirmed. I feel like I did something good, and I feel like someone has recognized me for doing something good. I like it when I feel affirmed. It's a very, very nice feeling. Pessimistic. When you are pessimistic, it means you are reacting in a negative way. If someone says, "Here's a cup of water," and you might see it as half full if you are optimistic, but you might see it as half empty if you are pessimistic. When you react in a pessimistic way, it means you see the negative side of things. You are being very, very negative about something. When you react in an optimistic way, it means you are being very positive about something. So another good example would be this. Someone might say, "Oh, it's too bad there's a snowstorm. Now we can't have our Christmas party." I'm just annoyed by that. Or someone could say, "Oh, what a beautiful snowstorm. I love snow. I can't wait to go outside and play in it." So you have a negative or pessimistic reaction, or a positive or optimistic reaction. You might feel dismayed. Dismay is a reaction that I would use to describe sadness at receiving bad news. Sometimes you just feel dismayed. You might be trying to get your driver's license and you keep failing the test. You would feel dismayed. Your reaction would be to feel dismayed. You would just be sad because you haven't passed the test. Maybe your plan is to study English every day and you just keep forgetting to do it. And all of a sudden, a month has gone by and you haven't studied English at all. You might feel dismayed. You might feel very, very sad. Abandoned. So this happens to me sometimes at work. I'm working with a team of teachers on something, and then one by one, they all go to do something else. And eventually I react by feeling abandoned. It's not nice to feel abandoned. This means that you are all on your own. You are alone and you can't do what you want to do. So sometimes you just feel abandoned when everyone finds something else to do. Sometimes when I talk to my mom, she'll say that I haven't visited her enough, and I react to that by feeling guilty. When you feel guilty, you feel a little bit sad about something, or you feel like you didn't do what someone wanted you to do. I don't often feel guilty, but sometimes when I don't do things I should be doing, I feel guilty. I feel bad about the fact that I haven't done something. This dog looks guilty. I'm going to guess that this dog ate something it wasn't supposed to eat, or maybe chewed up the couch or some other piece of furniture. And now the dog looks very, very guilty. So it is reacting by feeling guilty and looking guilty. Self-conscious. So sometimes you get a haircut and you feel like everyone's looking at you. So your reaction to getting a haircut isn't to be happy. Your reaction is to feel self-conscious. You are worried that maybe the haircut doesn't look good. You're worried that everyone thinks your haircut looks funny. So in that situation, we would say you are feeling self-conscious. It's not a very nice feeling. I think because I'm a teacher, I don't feel this very often. I'm often in front of people, so I don't think about it as much. But sometimes when people have to speak in public, they feel self-conscious. They are stressed and worried because they think everyone is looking at them. Relieved. So last week, Jen was sick, so she took a COVID test, and she was relieved. Her reaction was to be relieved when she found out the test was negative. I think many of you have taken these tests. When the results are negative, you react by feeling relieved. You are very, very happy. You feel less stress. When you're relieved, it means you feel less stressed. But certainly feeling relieved is a nice feeling to have after something goes your way. And then, of course, sometimes people react to something by feeling thankful or being thankful. You could say, "Oh, I was thankful yesterday because I was able to get all my Christmas shopping done. I was thankful because my mom sent me a Christmas card and it was really nice. And you might be thankful that you're able to watch this lesson right now. So I will thank you for watching. I'm going to react to you watching this by being thankful, and you can react by thanking me as well. So